Does the cultural background and personal beliefs of an individual shape their near-death experience, NDE? Some NDE researchers, such as Dr. Jeffrey Long, hold that NDEs are basically the same for everyone, no matter which culture they occur in or what beliefs they personally hold. I wholeheartedly disagree with Jeffrey Long and hold that a person's cultural and personal beliefs have a profound effect on what type of NDE the person will have. Although Dr. Long has done excellent research establishing the reality of NDEs, nevertheless, I hold Dr. Long to be blinded by broad similarities that can be drawn amongst NDEs in different cultures, similarities that can only be drawn by ignoring profound dissimilarities between NDEs in different cultures. These ignored dissimilarities make all the difference in determining whether cultural and personal beliefs can affect what type of NDE you will have. Consider the case of Japanese NDEs. A 2017 article titled "A Comparative Analysis of Japanese and Western NDEs" stated, "In this article, we examine Japanese NDEs and compare their features with generalizations based on observations of Western NDEs. The main differences between Japanese and Western NDEs are the interpretation of the light and the concomitant lack of interaction with it, the image of heaven, and the absence of the life review. We suggest that these characteristics are accounted for in terms of cultural differences." In the study, it was further stated, related to a lack of personification of the bright light in Japanese NDEs is the concomitant lack of communication with the light and the lack of the specific sense of being loved, which is a profoundly important feature in Western NDEs. Likewise, in an article titled "Near-Death Experiences Handbook," it is stated, "Instead of seeing tunnels of light or having out-of-body experiences, near-dead patients in Japanese hospitals tend to see rather less romantic images." One 50-year-old asthmatic man said he had seen himself wade into a reservoir and do a handstand in the shallows. "Then I walked out of the water and took some deep breaths. In the dream, I was repeating this over and over." Another patient, a 73-year-old woman with cardiac arrest, saw a cloud filled with dead people. "It was a dark, gloomy day. I was chanting sutras. I believed they could be saved if they chanted sutras, so that is what I was telling them to do." Similarly, an exploration of Indian and American NDEs in the book At the Hour of Death by Karlis Osis and Erlendur Haraldsson concluded that, although there were considerable similarities between Indian, Hindu, and American NDEs, the religious personages and symbols appearing in deathbed visions were different for each culture. In a study titled "Near-Death Experiences in India," several testimonies are given. All the testimonies that are given are negative. One testimony even stated, when pressed for details, Vasudev said that the black man had a club and used foul language. Vasudev identified him with Yamraj, the Hindu god of the dead. Moving further east, a study titled "Near-Death Experiences Among Survivors of the 1976 Tangshan Earthquake," conducted in China, also echoes these findings. In the study, it is stated, our subjects reported NDE phemenological items not mentioned or rarely mentioned in NDEs reported from other countries. Sensations of the world being exterminated or ceasing to exist, a sense of weightlessness, a feeling of being pulled or squeezed, ambivalence about death, a feeling of being a different person or a different kind of person, an unusual sense. The predominant phemenological features in our series were feeling estranged from the body, as if it belonged to someone else, unusually vivid thoughts, loss of emotions, unusual bodily sensations, life seeming like a dream, a feeling of dying. The researchers added, these are not the same phemenological features most commonly found by researchers in other countries. Greyson reported the most common phemenological feature of American NDEs to be a feeling of peace, joy, time-stopping, experiencing an unearthly realm of existence, a feeling of cosmic unity, and an out-of-body experience. Likewise, in a study titled "A Comparative View of Tibetan and Western Near-Death Experiences" by Lawrence Epstein, it is stated, the OBE systematically stresses the Das Log's discomfiture, pain, disappointment, anger, and disillusionment with others and with the moral worth of the world at large. The Das Log is usually accompanied by a supernatural guide, tours Bardo, where he witnesses painful scenes and meets others known to him. They give him messages to take back. The Das Log witnesses trials in and tours hell. The crimes and punishments of others are explained to him. Tortured souls also ask him to take back messages to the living. The cultural influence on NDEs is perhaps most starkly apparent in Thailand. According to the article, Near-Death Experiences in Thailand, Thai NDEs often lack the profound positive affect found in many Western NDEs. Instead, they are characterized by negative emotions, primarily fear. Specifically, in the article it is stated, the light seems to be absent in Thai NDEs, so is the profound positive effect found in so many Western NDEs. The most common affect in our collection is negative. The researchers further noted, there is no being of light in these Thai NDEs, although the Buddha does appear in a symbolic form in case number 6. Yama is present during this truncated life review, as is the being of light during Western life reviews, but Yama is anything but a being of light. In popular Thai depictions, he is shown as a wrathful being and is most often remembered in Thai culture for his power to condemn one to hell. Some of the functions of angels and guides are also filled by Yamatoots. They guide, lead tours of hell. A NDE testimony on YouTube titled Near-Death Experience Thailand Asia is particularly sobering for his personal testimony of his hellish near-death experience. In conclusion, the nature of NDEs, contrary to what Dr. Jeffrey Long may personally hold, appears to be deeply influenced by cultural and personal beliefs. Western NDEs, particularly those reported in Judeo-Christian cultures, are often described as extremely joyous and heavenly experiences, while NDEs reported in other cultures are markedly different and are best characterized as being overwhelmingly negative, many times even being hellish in nature. These studies suggest that our cultural and personal beliefs have a far more profound effect on what type of NDE we will have than some researchers, such as Dr. Long, are predisposed to believe. One final note, in objecting to Christianity in particular, many times atheists will note that atheists themselves will often have heavenly near-death experiences. To that objection from atheists, I simply note that atheists are far more influenced by the cultural beliefs of the Judeo-Christian culture they live in than they apparently realize. From the holidays that are celebrated to the language and turns of phrases used to the overarching laws observed in Western society is thoroughly permeated by Judeo-Christian beliefs and influences. As the atheist historian Tom Holland himself noted, if Western civilization is the fishbowl, then the water is Christianity. In conclusion, and as Pastor John Burke noted in his book titled Imagine Heaven, near-death experiences are far more amicable to Judeo-Christian beliefs than some researchers, such as Dr. Long, are predisposed to believe. In fact, the Apostle Paul himself referenced what is widely regarded as a near-death experience when, in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, he stated, "I know a man in Christ who 14 years ago was caught up to the third heaven. This man was caught up to paradise and heard inexpressible things that no one is permitted to tell."